everybody.
Hi.
Hey. It's Tuesday. There's so much pep in this room. Tuesday, June 11th. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of Let's Point, a podcast and website serving up music discussion, news, show and album reviews, and more. My name is Jordan Kaufman, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Billy Gabe. Hello. And Mr. Paul Cole.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. Let's jump straight into what we've been listening to. And that encompasses the best, worst, good, noteworthy, mediocre, important, inconsequential, sometimes album-related shows, singles, and new releases of the week. And up first, we have...
The one.
Only.
Glenn.
The only. Mr. Glenn Hansard.
Wow, that seemed like it was going to be really slick for a minute.
Yeah. I
applaud it.
I thought reaching over to my keyboard would take less time.
He's trying to help you.
Anyway, I saw Glenn at the historic, famous Lincoln Theater. Yeah, tell me what you thought.
Why do you have to sound so apprehensive with that question?
Because tell me what you thought.
It was incredible is what I thought.
Yeah?
There's something about that theater that Glenn just thrives off of.
I don't know what it is about him in smaller venues, but it was worth it for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean he played the perfect set list. New stuff sounds incredible live.
Yeah, new stuff sounds really good.
Great mix of his old solo stuff that is in the same kind of vein as the new stuff. You got Fitzcarraldo from the Frames.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, couldn't have been a better set list.
He closed out with the good, dumb Irish folk song
always
everybody loves.
Does a little sing along at the end.
Like actually pulled up some talented people on stage, and I was like, holy shit! Like,
yeah,
these people can actually sing.
Yeah.
So it was way better than the weird dancing guy we saw at the Anthem.
Which, mind you, was a larger venue.
Yes,
and we didn't enjoy it too much.
Venue. Yeah, it's not great.
But man,
this is so good. Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, I'll definitely, as long as he plays at something smaller, I'm definitely in next time.
It was awesome.
You saw Geography.
Geographer?
God knows where. Geographer, shit. Is there Geography as well?
Maybe.
No? Okay.
Not that I've
Geographer.
seen.
Okay, my bad.
It's all good. Yeah, I saw Geographer at U-Haul
okay.
on Wednesday night, and it was awesome, and I'm glad we went, and thank you for postponing this podcast so that I could go.
You're welcome.
Because
I'm glad you had a good time.
It was awesome, and he was incrable.
Nice.
And he played everything off of that New Jersey album that was
he
my
just
pick
came
a
out
while
with the new
ago.
records, what, a month ago?
A couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out with New Jersey a couple months ago, and this was kind of the tour for it. And it's only like 7 songs, but he played all 7 songs plus all the hits.
Nice.
People were into it.
Yeah, it looked like from your Snapchats.
Yeah, because like I walked in
and get into it
during the opener, and there's like maybe 20 people there, and I was real nervous, but it filled up.
Nice.
Almost. It wasn't sold out, but it felt full.
That's good.
So yeah, people were real into it, and I had a great time, and it was very cool.
I like it. That's always good to hear. And we have a shit pile of singles this week. So,
I'm so excited for this episode. I have so much music that I actually like.
You brought a lot of music this week. So we'll run through the gamut, hopefully pretty quick. This first one, though, Clairo. Song is called Bags. If you've been listening for a while, we checked out one of her songs, Flaming Hot Cheetos, I think a year ago.
Yeah. She's passionate about items from a grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They aren't recyclable bags, though. I think she's matured a lot in a year, probably less than that. The song's really good.
I'm 110% on the Clairo train now.
Yeah?
And
you on the hype train?
This is going to be my number 1 single of the year.
Really?
Yep. Game over.
Shit. Okay.
I am in love with this song.
Damn, that's early.
Yep. Don't care.
Damn. So the funny thing, my wife Sarah is going to go see Khalid with her friend Jordan. And I was like, who's the opener? Just because like Khalid's gigantic right now, I figured he'd bring someone like relatively known.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Clairo.
Really?
Opening the Verizon Center. Sorry, Capital One Center.
Wow.
Hey,
good for her.
Yeah. So it seems a little low key for that show, but hey, I hope people like her.
I bet you she'll play some new stuff that's pretty. I mean, she is very lo-fi in general, but I think it's got some.
I hope she's got
nice
a mix.
energy and emotion
for sure.
behind it.
She's got a new record coming out, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what it sounds like. I hope it's a lot like this.
I'm really surprised we don't see younger artists develop in leaps and bounds like this normally.
Yeah.
Because we see kind of more experimentation when people are later in their careers.
True.
But it seems like when they're coming up would be the time for it.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe they're just really worried about establishing a sound.
maybe I think music moves at a much faster clip now. Like I think, like at least for Clairo, like I couldn't tell you what Flaming Hot Cheetos sounded like a year ago, and I think it's partially because there's just so much good new music.
Yeah.
Every day. So I appreciate that she's stepping out there and trying to do something different. This next one, Knocked Loose and I Still Wonder South. They also have a new record coming out. Hadn't heard of them until they released a single a couple weeks ago, and it rips.
They're so good.
It's real good. You've seen them live?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, we were real upset because they were headlining and Harm's Way was opening a few months ago, but we had already gotten tickets to Copeland.
Nice.
And I was real sad because Knocked Loose and Harm's Way are both incredible.
Okay.
I'm psyched about this because I'm really picky about the heavier music I tend to listen to. Checks off all the boxes.
Yeah, it's
Except
real,
for,
real good.
like, it's not crazy prog or technical or anything.
Sure.
But
No,
really,
it's just
really...
It's got a place in the world.
Solid
Yeah.
metal with some punk and sludge
For sure.
elements. And
For sure. Next one, Sleater Kinney, on their return. They have a they have a new record coming out produced by St. Vincent, which was mainly why I was super interested in this single. And it's pretty good. It's like an 80s kind of yeahs ish.
Yeah. You had a lot of St. Vincent on it.
Yes, for sure. Yeah,
Carano
production's
vibe.
really nice. Yes, definitely got them. Carano, shouty vocals, but it's pretty good.
And who's in that band? That's
It's Carrie Brownstein from Portlandia fame, or really from Sleater Kinney fame, who left Sleater Kinney to do comedy and then got famous for Portlandia and then came back to Sleater Kinney. So
right on.
yeah, she's cool. Next one, I absolutely adore this track. Metronomy. Song is called Lately. It's their first. I think they're coming out with a new record in like 8 years. It's been 8 years since they've released a record. So, and this definitely feels like they could have released a record 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Like this song feels a little dated, but I like it.
It's super good.
I like the style a
It's
lot.
got that block party type sound, that
Yes.
UK
and
sound.
the synths are fucking cool. Really, really cool. Sufjan Stevens. Y'all fans?
Oh,
No.
definitely on board with this.
No.
No, I don't like him.
No, you don't like it?
It
What about
bores
this
me.
track?
Nah. Well, I will say the production I was kind of into,
Okay.
and then he started singing.
Mr. Paul,
and it
you
was
like this
lame.
song?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. I like it too. I think
Cool.
it's good. It's real cute and sweet.
How would you characterize it? So if
It's-
someone's not heard it.
It's got like a really cool like peppy 80s vibe. Like really synthy and like really upbeat, which is nice, a nice change of pace for him, because he released Carrie and Lowell, which is like a crushing, like depressing record. So I hope his newer stuff is kind of like this.
I think I would have liked it more if it was just lyrically better.
Yeah, that's true. The lyrics are a little corny, but it's nice. It's a positive song about loving yourself.
Yeah.
Mr. Charles Bradley, unfortunately, is no longer with us, but his family or somebody, probably a record label, is releasing a song he recorded when Obama was president. The song is called Lucifer. He's not likening Obama to Lucifer. He is incredible on this track.
Yeah,
I think
super
it's
good.
really, really good.
Yeah, I always feel conflicted about these posthumous releases.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like the artist would have probably released it if they wanted to.
True.
Unless they were in the middle of recording it. But it sounds really good. It's a great track. I think there's a certain nostalgia factor. It's, when you lose an artist like that that's so influential, you like just having another piece to listen to.
Yeah, and I think this felt more complete to me as a track, so I was a little more okay with it than like, say, Prince's new record, which is like unreleased songs that he hadn't finished, which is, I don't know, I just think kind of weird.
Yeah, especially because that guy was such a perfectionist.
Right. Yeah, it just reads as kind of scummy. But speaking of scummy, Mr. Freddie Gibbs has a farmhand, as a real scumbag. But his new track with Madlib, Crime Pays, Bandana, out soon in like 2 weeks. Their new collaborative record, and this track is just more of Freddie Gibbs' Madlib goodness. It's really awesome soul, West Coast influenced hip hop, just really, really good stuff. And a funny music video too.
Yeah, the video's great.
Mr. Billy, you want to tell us about how you've been since Madeon released a record?
Yeah, so it's been 3-4 years since Madeon put out anything as far as solo work goes, and it's been just about as long since he did any work with Porter Robinson. So to see him come back with this new single was sweet and kind of dropped it out of nowhere. And
he's got a new record on the way. Yeah,
I would hope so. Yeah, okay. I mean, he says he's been holed up, basically just locked away doing music constantly for the last 3 years, not interacting with anybody, just solely like being in production mode. And this new single, All My Friends, is just, I mean, the hard work has paid off.
I think it's more of like I used to love him back in college when he was gigantic. And I think this is definitely cut from the same cloth. It seems like he's picked up some new tricks, or at least some things that I never noticed before. Like he's got some cool like little pan flute flourishes, and like you mentioned that cool like drum breakdown that was neat.
He just, for me, I love Madeon because he can make new disco pop. He can bring that to EDM and to radio and make that really sound like pop. I mean, this was on the NBA Finals the other night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
So that he can make one of my favorite genres universal is something I love. This is the first time he's featured his vocals solely on a track. I know you're not the biggest fan of his vocals, but
they're good. Like they're good vocals. It's not like they were dirty or like, he can't sing. I don't know.
He does a lot of small things, like you were saying, with the like little like breakbeat like drum sections leading up into the breakdown and into the chorus. Just little things that go unrecognized, but that make his stuff really stand out and make it unique and make it super good.
Yeah, I'm excited for anything that he comes.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where he's going.
Up next, we have Chong the Nomad. This track, Nothing Else, featuring Flint Eastwood. And it's a cute little, like, not hip hop, it's like synth pop, like electronica kind of.
I mean,
but like
you could make an argument for it's.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever it is,
yeah.
I like it. It's got a kind of a lo-fi situation going on.
Yes. Yeah, the really grimy bass that comes in towards the back half of the track is really neat. It's something that I have a hard time describing just because of how different it is. So definitely check that out. Speaking of different, Mr. Segall, and I don't know how to pronounce it.
Who I found out today is not a rapper.
No, he is most definitely
far
not.
from it.
He is a prolific garage rock artist who is still young, and he releases at least a couple albums a year. And this new track, Taste, is awesome. I really liked it. Mr. Paul, you a big fan?
Actually, yeah. I'm completely on board with this. I liked what you said earlier about just like really kind of grindy, toothy synths on it.
Yes.
Just all fuzzed out.
Yeah, it feels very maximalist. Like the production is not subtle whatsoever.
How would you describe the vocals?
It feels very like this is the first thing that came to mind. I don't think it necessarily is, but like King Crimson, like it feels very 70s, like psychedelic, kind of shouty, like
that's fair.
Not very sing-songy, but I don't know. It's got like a talking quality to it, but I like it a lot.
Really can't abide by.
I actually liked it.
Yeah,
I did. I actually liked it. So
I like it. I'm glad you liked it. And Sandy Alex G, new track called Gretel. I adore Sandy Alex G. He is my kind of lo-fi emo indie folk. And I don't know where are you guys at with this?
It was better. I've historically not been super into his stuff.
Okay.
I've always found it a little too lo-fi, a little too boring.
Yes.
This
very, very lo-fi.
This has a little bit more dynamic and excitement to it, and it's still very much in tune with what he does. But
I think he's got more money now too.
Yeah.
So he's stepping up the production.
That could
without
very
being
well be it. And it's
super,
Yeah, I like this. I liked it a lot, actually.
I know you hate them.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So this next track, Whitney, Giving Up. Whitney is returning. I could not be more excited. Billy, I know. So you hate the vocals.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's totally fair. Like it took me a long time to really get into them because it's like kind of froggy.
Yeah, because
like
when you were trying to sell it to me, you sold it to me as like that howdy kind of vibe, and I like that. I like that kind of lo-fi, like really simple, and I like howdy vocals, but yeah, the vocals are just a little too much for me on this.
That's fair. they're a little Muppet-ish, I would say. But I feel like if you can get into them, the production is just off the charts.
Yeah, I feel like there's enough going on with the instrumentation that it's not necessarily the focus. You might be surprised to find that I'm going to go see them in September.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Breaking news.
I will see you there.
Yeah, man. I'll even take you if you're nice.
Oh, my God. You're just so good to me. We're going to skip that next one. Goldensuns. Shook.
Goldensuns.
Goldensuns.
Golden
Mr.
Suns.
Billy, you brought these last three
I did.
to the table. Do you want to tell us about Goldensuns Shook?
I don't know what to really say about Goldensuns, except for it's a really groovy kind of like...
Did you like them prior to this track?
hadn't heard of them prior to this
Okay.
track. It's just a very groovy, like evening skater vibe. I don't know.
Totally.
Like
it is... I think if you invest too much attention in it,
Yeah.
I think it loses its flavor. But if it's a really good like background, just kind of
sure.
zony, repetitive.
Yeah.
If there is such a genre as skater rock, like it is
Hey,
that sound,
yes.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just kind of got that like gazy, like almost. It's got bits of like turnover. If you're like into that, I was
Yep.
real into it.
Yep, I'm with you. Muna.
Number one fan.
It is Muna.
Not me, but that's what the song's called. I think so. Yeah.
Number one. Billy's the number one fan.
But yeah, so Muna, the 3-piece, I guess group. I don't know where they're from, but
Goth pop, I think. That's
I
a
was gonna
good-
say, yeah, like they're in that same vein as like Pale Waves, so like goth pop, kind
Sure.
of like synth pop.
I like this better than Pale Waves.
I thought it was thoroughly okay.
I really like this single. I really like what they've did. The chorus is incredible.
I like the chorus. Like the chorus was my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that's really pulling me away was like how 80s that like
Oh, yeah.
synth bass was.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was just super loud, but the chorus is cool.
Yeah.
I think I wasn't expecting the chorus. Rather, I wasn't even expecting the vocals to be that like auto tune. I expected
Yeah,
it to
they
be
just,
like reverby, washed out kind
Right.
of 80s stuff. But
Very synth heavy, but I like it a lot.
and Tuxedo.
Tuxedo.
The Tuxedo Way. Duo of Mayor Hawthorne and Jake One, who has produced for Drake, you said?
Like Drake, The Weeknd, acts like that.
Which is wild. I've
Yeah.
never heard of him before.
Right, yeah. But yeah, so they've put out an album in 2015, another album in 2017, and they're kind of like finally getting some recognition, I guess. And so they put out a new single to plug their upcoming album. It's just your classic like R&B funk.
It's real fun.
So good.
Yeah,
So tasty.
I'm excited to put it on my summer playlists.
Yeah,
I think
yeah. I'm
it'll
excited
be-
to see what. I
really
mean,
nice.
I love their other two albums, so I can't imagine this one will be any different.
Okay.
Anytime I feel compelled to go figure out like who the rhythm section is on it on track, it's a
For
really
sure.
good sign.
Yes. And with that, we zoomed through our singles. And we're going to jump into our shout-outs. First shout-out is Atlanta Millionaires Club by Miss Faye Webster. I think it's a super short and sweet album. It like clocks in at under 30, I think. I really liked the lap steel all over this thing. I think Paul, I agree with you. It gets a little heavy. The reliance on it. I think.
I think for a minute it seems kind of exotic, and then
Yeah.
after a while, I don't know what it is. My tolerance for like a pedal steel or a lap steel is much higher in country genres.
Sure.
Whereas just that Hawaiian sound gets old
Yeah.
after a while.
Yeah.
And I really tried hard to like the vocals. They have their moments, but just something about it didn't click for me.
Totally fair.
I'm right there with you.
My favorite song is the first one on the record, and she has this really long refrain of just her repeating, "I should get out more.
Yep.
I should get out more," and I love that track. There's like a weird reprisal at the end, and then there's a hip hop feature that does
Yeah.
not fit at all. So it's a little uneven, but the album itself is cute. It's fun. Next one, "Run Around the Sun" by a band called Sacred Paws. It's pretty one note, like all the songs kind of sound the same, but it's like this really bright and catchy, really dancey, upbeat kind of, I don't know if they're Australian, but it feels like that kind of like Rolling Coastal Blackouts kind of like
Yes.
really upbeat and really, kind of pedal to the metal. It's not metal, but you know what I mean. Yeah, perfect for the beach for sure. And Mr. Billy,
Yes.
tell us real quick about the new Jonas Brothers record.
New Jonas Brothers record. They're back.
Where are we at?
I can't tell if this is a bit. We're
It's
doing
not.
a bit right now.
Billy is actually in love with.
I've seen the Jonas Brothers like probably 10 times
You've seen 10 times
in concert. Yes.
Holy shit! I thought you'd only seen them like once.
No, I've seen them at least 10 times.
We discuss music at least every 2 weeks. Why is this the first
Yeah,
time?
I've watched the Jonas Brothers play baseball on a local ball field
You're a
back in
fangirl.
2006.
You're a fangirl.
I
is
have
what you're saying.
questions right now. Wait, was this before the fame?
It was mid-fame.
2006, I think it was like peak.
Yeah, it was
Peak
like
Jonas
it
Brothers?
was like opening for Hannah Montana fame.
Yeah.
Wait, playing baseball? I'm so lost right now.
Yeah, they came. You know the little AOL campus out
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Waxpool. Yeah, they played.
Did they just bring them as celebrities? Like, hey, come
While
play
they were
baseball
on
with us?
tour, they were like, "We're gonna play baseball every day while we're on tour, just to keep the camaraderie between all the people that have
Sure.
hands in it."
Oh, okay.
And so they
Like a
would have
recreational
a
thing.
small little pop up like baseball game.
Okay, and
And we got the
okay.
inside scoop on where it was gonna be.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it was
Okay.
literally like,
I thought this was like something open to the fans. Like
No,
you're
this
gonna
was
do
like-
some
Billy's just like,
exhibition
we
games.
just like had
were they
somebody
cool
that
with you guys just being there?
yeah, there was like it was like open to like a few like AOL
I guess
employees.
yeah. I guess if you knew
so
about
there was
it,
probably
yeah.
like maybe 50 to 75 people there watching the game, and we happen to know somebody that got us in. And
I'm blown away right now.
yeah,
That's
I
kind
think
of
you know a
wild.
guy.
But you know what? So back to the music.
oh right.
The only thing holding me back from this record.
I know what you're gonna say, and I'm gonna be right on board with you.
Okay. I as someone who used to hate them for the only reason no other reason than they're just super fucking popular and they're annoying. I've come around on them a lot in like the last 2 weeks because I've been watching a lot of interviews and like they're the coolest fucking people.
Uh-huh.
Like, super genuine, super nice. And I was really disappointed. Like I really wanted to like this record. I'd heard good things. There's a
lot
handful of good songs.
A lot of good stuff
Yes,
on the record.
There's some good stuff on here. But there's just there's Only Human is gotta be the worst song I've
It's-
heard in like 10 years.
Oh no! So
It's
and
really
I will give you because "Sucker" and "Cool" are the first two
Yes.
tracks, and they're the two singles.
So
I
good.
was like, okay, those are good.
Yes.
I listened to those, and then "Only Human" came on, and I was like, if this is the rest of the album, I'm gonna be pissed. It's that garbage, fake pop reggae that
Yes.
I hate.
Ooh.
Yes, it's really bad.
You're not
it's
selling me on it.
really bad.
It's terrible, but that's the worst song on the album.
Yes.
And then they hit track 4, which is "I Believe," and that might be the best track on the
Yeah.
album. It's so good. And then there's "Don't Throw It Away" is great. "Strangers" is great. There's a couple of slower songs in there that are great. But every like 3 or 4 tracks, they try and throw in that like
It was dead.
garbage
Yeah.
reggae stuff again. And
Hey, they like to make money. They like to be on the radio.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
they're gonna make a shit pile of money at
Oh,
every show.
my God, their
'cause
tour
it's
is
probably all
so
sold out.
expensive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
so yeah, I mean, it's just a shout out, but I'd say a solid
if you're a fan,
70%
definitely
is good.
worth checking out. Or if like my thing, I was hoping it would be like an Ariana Grande. Like I know this is gonna be like kind of vapid, but like going in and enjoying the production. and
Yeah.
I was hoping for more catchy stuff.
Yeah.
and Sucker still is really really good.
Yeah.
So, and this one, Middle Kids.
Middle Kids put out another little
Album of the Year alumni, Middle Kids. How we doing? How we doing with Middle Kids?
a solid follow up.
I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's not as good as their last album.
Yeah, they don't change much.
No, they don't change much, and it's just not as catchy and hooky
True.
to me.
As someone who's afraid of change, I find that appealing.
Me too.
So yeah, I mean, it's a solid follow up, but just wish they could have done a little bit more.
That's fair. Hey, that's why it's an EP and not a record.
True.
So, this next one.
This next one, I thought I was gonna freaking get both of you on, and I'm not sure I did.
I'm on board. I like
you?
it. Yes. I don't think it's all the way for me.
Yeah. Okay.
So this next record, Nesh by City Cop. I have to point out the last track on the record, Flatline, is the hardest fucking acoustic track I've ever heard in my life.
It's
What do you mean,
literally
like heaviest acoustic track?
Yes.
It's literally acoustic hardcore. Like that's
It-
what this album is.
but it's like fucking blast beats
Yes.
and like tremolo chords
Yeah.
and like it's
You would
wild.
think it
But
was-
it's really good.
yeah.
So-
The drums are incredible on this album.
Yes.
The fact that it's not an acoustic album. Like
No.
And when I say acoustic hardcore, that's what it is.
It's a
but
weird choice,
when
but
I-
I really admire it.
I'm intrigued by this concept because like hardcore on an acoustic guitar sounds like it just in my brain I'm picturing just like a lot of mathematical springs, just constant shaky springs.
It sounds like Seosin B-sides.
Yeah.
Like it honestly, like the vocal is like not all the way mature Anthony Green, and it just feels like a demo that they put
Yeah.
together with acoustic guitars. But I think the whole record is really well done.
Yeah.
If you can get into the vocals, I think
I
you'll
love
like
the
it a lot.
vocals too. If you
Yeah.
like kind of those whiny emo hardcore
I
vocals,
think if you could polish it just a little more, I'd be on board.
I like
know-
how raw
yeah.
it is. Yeah,
that's fair.
Which I go
Man,
back and forth.
Now I have
but
to check this out.
yeah,
It's really
like
good.
my hands hurt after listening to it because just the stuff they do on that acoustic guitar like wears me out listening to
Yeah,
it.
it's. I think as far as like post-hardcore goes recently,
Yeah.
it's one of the more interesting things that I've listened to.
Cool. It is, and that is like we were talking
yeah.
about, like that. It is unique.
If even just by the virtue of it being entirely acoustic, which
Yeah.
is a wild concept that I would never in a million years
Yes.
expect someone to do.
yeah, and it's very mathy and technical, but like I don't know.
Yeah,
Paul
it's cool.
will listen to it, and I want to see your. I want to get your take.
It's very good.
Okay.
And that concludes our shout outs. So we're going to jump into new releases, and Mr. Billy, you're up first. You want to tell us tell the people at home what you brought?
All right. So my new release is Narco debut. Album is Strange and Ever Changing Depths. They're like a Metro Detroit based 4-piece band. Basically a typical like alt rock. Honestly, if you like early Coheed, like Second Stage, early Coheed, it's right up your alley because it sounds like it could be a ripoff
Oh, for sure.
from
Yeah.
like 2003 Coheed.
Yep.
Would that be like in Keeping Secrets? That era?
Earlier.
Earlier.
Like
Yeah, like
less
literally.
progressive than
Yeah,
Keeping
it's
Secrets.
like Second Stage Turbine, like
Yeah.
that, like Delirium.
But I think it's got like a.
If you start to see a woman in the audience, you've gone too far.
I think, I think if you add some circus spice
Yeah.
to like early Coheed,
Yeah.
this is what it reminds me.
Yes,
That sounds
so
great.
super good guitar work, like very complex, but like not at. It's at the forefront, but the vocals definitely take the lead. Like
Yeah,
very much like
I don't
those
think it's as wild and loosey goosey as Circa is.
No, yeah.
It's definitely got a kind of four to the floor Coheed kind of vibe to
Yes.
it. But the guitars are interesting enough to where it's like you don't want to necessarily turn it off because it's just power chords.
Yeah. It's mistakenly complex, like
Yes,
the guitar work
yeah.
he does, and the vocalist plays guitar, and then there's another guitarist, but really cool, just effects and delays and stuff like that they do with guitar, and drums are solid. Drums are actually really solid throughout the whole thing. I'm a real big fan.
I'm almost there. Almost there
Okay.
with it. I like what they're going for. I think if you're gonna drum up those Coheed vibes, at least for me, I feel like the hooks need to be better.
Fair.
And I didn't really get anything catchy out of it, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think necessarily Circa is all that catchy either.
Okay.
The vocals were like super quiet in the mix. Was that just me?
At points they are.
Okay.
I
didn't
think
know
it's
if I
just
was
maybe
going
them
crazy.
being kind of low budget still
That's fair.
and not having like
True. I mean,
great
for
production yet.
considering that they are low budget, like that, the album sounds really good.
Yeah.
If this is their first record, right?
I think
This is Narco debut.
debut. Yeah, what?
Hey.
Yeah, let me see. I think it is. I think they've had maybe an EP or two before,
Okay.
but
I think
this is
the
their
only other
first-
thing that was like dumb, and normally I wouldn't like look into it that much, but I kept hearing lyrics. And I was like, "What is he saying?" And then I looked them up, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, it reads like old Anthony Green lyric
Ooh, that
booklets,
just don't
like
make any
trippy
sense.
non sequiturs.
I
Like,
mean-
if you read the lyrics, it sounds like a poor Google translation.
As
Like, it was
as
very
far
weird.
as like
Yeah.
the titles of the tracks go, I totally get
Yes.
that. Like,
yeah,
it's
it's a
not
solid
something-
record though.
But yeah, so a couple of my favorite songs. This feels just like heaven. Yukon. High Beam Composure. All good tracks. Really, I don't think there's a track I didn't like throughout. You know, there are some stronger ones.
I think it's pretty
but
even.
I think it is. Yeah, it's definitely pretty even. And yeah, pretty much like if you like that Coheed circa at the drive-in type vibe.
Oh, you know I do.
Might be for you.
Absolutely. Speaking of being for you, Paul, what's your record? What'd you bring?
That's Black Friday by Palehound. So I feel like every Palehound release I check out, it just gets a little bit better every time. It doesn't always do it for me. On this one, there's definitely much stronger moments on maybe 3 of the tracks, at least to my taste. But really interesting, kind of like a grungy indie folk sound.
Sure.
I think plenty of variants in the tracks. I don't know what else to say otherwise. It's just kind of one of the better snare sounds I've heard as far as the
It's
production.
a female vocalist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just interesting songwriting style. I'd definitely check out at least the 3 tracks Worthy, Killer, and Aaron. And if you're into those, go out from there.
Okay. Cool. Nice. And my new release this week is the new Flying Lotus record, Flamangra.
Was it everything you dreamed?
It is the opposite.
Oh.
It is. Have you listened to it as a noted Flying Lotus fan?
No, I'm a real lazy Flying Lotus fan.
I listened to it when it came out because I knew we were gonna have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Just so
I'm gonna do you a favor. You can skip it.
What?
It's garbage.
It's bad.
Come on now.
It's bad.
I thought when you put it as your new
It's-
release, I thought you were gonna say you liked it. and I was
no,
gonna
it's
feel really
my
bad.
biggest disappointment of the year,
Okay.
like by far.
Will you allow me one pass if I say the thing I'm not supposed to say?
Sure. Go ahead.
I want Captain Murphy. I want another. Can we have another?
That's fair. Maybe. Maybe someday.
There. I've said it.
Yeah, this just to keep it super quick. The album is over an hour long. It is 27 tracks, and it feels like a B-sides compilation. Like, I forget who it was. I was reading. I shouldn't have read a review, but I read someone's review, and they brought up a good point. It was like, it feels like he wrote these songs for other people's albums, and they didn't want them, so he just put them on this record and like tried to fit it with a theme. He's got that weird, like we checked out that weird David Lynch track that isn't a real track. It's just David Lynch doing weird spoken word shit.
Yep.
That's like in the director middle. He's got a George Clinton track that you would think would be fire, but like you listen to it and it's like, this just sounds like a shitty P-Funk track. Like, I don't know what happened. I think he's just been gone for too long and he just put too much on the record. Like, I would say that you could pick 10 to 12 tracks and it'd be a good album, but I honestly don't know if I could pick 10 tracks out of the 20. Like, there's a handful that I liked. I don't even like the Anderson .Paak track that we listened to.
If anything, it's more of an Anderson .Paak track than it is a Flying Lotus
for
track.
sure. It does not feel like Flying Lotus whatsoever.
Which has been the complaint about anything, like any Anderson .Paak feature.
Truly.
That's fair.
Yes.
But like, with the flow of the album, it completely changes course at that song.
It does. Yeah, it's real weird. But I did find a couple tracks. Black Balloons Reprise featuring Denzel Curry, who we'll hear about in a minute. Postrequisite and Takashi. And if you are into Flying Lotus or you're into Daedalus, Thebes, or Nosage Thing, you'll probably like Flying Lotus. And now we're on to our albums of the week. Mr. Billy,
Am I starting?
you are.
Oh man, I'm
Tell
excited.
us about this girl that we've heard of before.
So Orla Gartland, Irish singer-songwriter, released.
Oh, she's Irish. Okay.
Yep. Released a 4-track EP, and I love it.
It's very good.
I love it. It's been on repeat between this album and Clairo. On repeat the last 3 weeks.
It's all
haven't stopped listening to it.
That's fair.
Every song is good. It's just, I mean, it's only 4 songs, but
I think I do want to know what you think about the. I don't know why they included the demo. Like it,
because it's great.
well, it's good. My point being that, like, the song sounds finished, the production is just super shitty. It's like, why not just finish it?
If they didn't put demo on there, I would have honestly just thought it was like a lo-fi, like
that's
last
what I'm
track.
saying is like, clean up the production like just a smidge.
Yeah, you could
It
have.
would have been,
But you
it
didn't
would
need
have
to.
been great. Yeah.
It's still good.
That's
It's
not
great.
cool though.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kids want the
you
cutting
big
room
homer.
floor.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
It's a good record though.
I don't know. It's.
They want to
One
pull
of the-
back the curtain and let you inside. See how the sausage is made.
That is true.
I also wonder, like, it seems very DIY. Like, I wonder how much she does.
Yeah, that's
I
a good
think
question because like my biggest thing, I think it's the second track, Flatline.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like new Paramore, and
Yeah.
that shit was like a shit pile of money got thrown at that.
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Like the production is just great. And
Yeah.
super crisp, and she's super talented. Like I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what she does next. I was kind of hoping this was gonna be a full record.
I
'Cause- yeah.
I wish it was.
Yeah.
I could
Hey, maybe soon. Who knows?
Yeah, but again, I think this week has been a good week in music for me. I
Sure.
think this will be near the top, if not at the top of my
We'll be hearing about
year-end
this
list.
in 6 months.
I will be fighting for this in our tournament like no other.
Alrighty.
Oh, good.
Speaking of things that we'll fight for, this new Denzel Curry record. It's real good. It's called Zoo. ZUU. It is everything that a modern rap album should be. Like
Ooh.
excluding those going for like a high bar conceptual effort, say like a Danny Brown or like a Kendrick Lamar.
Or for
I'm-
those.
I'm talking about like assholes on SoundCloud that are like, check out my new album. It's 37 tracks and 3 hours long. This is 29 minutes. It is fucking punchy. It gets in and out. There's great hooks. There's just everything about it. I think is just top to bottom really well done. It reminds me a lot of Vince's album that came out last year. But I think Denzel actually writes really good hooks. And that's something that I think Vince has always struggled with. And he's got some really good features on it. Rick Ross makes an appearance, and that's really fun. And just kind of like a blast from the past. And I don't know. I can't say anything bad about this record. It's just super sweet, and I love it. It's real good.
Did you get a chance to listen, Paul?
I did not.
Okay.
I feel like you would like it. I
Plead
you
the
should-
fifth.
I think you should check it out. Yeah.
I hate.
Is there a dissenting opinion?
I hate just being a hater on everything.
What's your problem?
No,
What's
I
your
like
problem?
this.
God damn it! What's your problem?
It's
Discord. Wait,
It's
so you just want someone else to be with you on it?
It's.
So
I
we
was
gang
no,
up
I
on
no,
Jordan?
I was gonna respect your opinion whether you thought it was good or not, because it's not. It's
oh my
Wait.
god!
Wow.
it's
Okay.
garbage pitchfork mumble rap.
Oh, yes, it's not.
I love
not
this
so
It's
song,
just
Billy.
not good.
It's not mumble rap,
the
Billy. It's
best
not mumble
part
rap.
of this album is Rick Ross, and that's saying something.
Rick Ross is really good.
He's
on this
really
record.
good on it, and
It's not mumble rap. You
It's
can understand
100
every word that he says. You are categorically untrue. Let's get out of here. Just fucking leave. Favorite tracks: Zoo.
Wait, who are you gonna trust on matters of hip hop, Jordan or Billy?
I don't know. Billy's pretty picky about his hip hop. So.
Don't pick the obvious one.
Favorite tracks: Zoo, Ricky and Birds feature Rick Ross. Related artists: Vince Staples, Flatbush Zombies, and Injury Reserve. And Mr. Paul, you want to close us out?
Yeah, I would love to close this out because Blood Boy came out with an album called Punk Adjacent. I actually wasn't really familiar with this artist, so thanks to Billy for turning me on to her.
Oh,
I thought you would like it.
Yeah, and you were right.
I'm glad you
What
did.
kind of music is it?
So, most people characterize it as like pop punk.
Okay.
But where I think most examples that you think of are like punk that's kind of made more accessible by pop sensibilities.
Sure.
This is kind of the opposite of that. It's pop heavy
Okay.
with some kind of punk vibes to it.
I like it.
Which ends up being a lot cooler than that sounds.
Yeah. No,
But,
that sounds up my alley.
I like the production. I think the songwriting style is really interesting. Her lyricism is different somehow. Very kind of personal writing style.
Okay.
The lyrics are so specific that rather than some artists where they kind of paint broad brushstrokes and it's more accessible to everybody,
Sure.
these tracks seem like they're based on actual conversations she had
Nice.
with people. But yeah, Billy might be able to expand on it more, but I definitely recommend checking it out.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it as well. It's really cool. It's a unique kind of
Have you
album.
been a fan, or is this?
No,
like
I just
new?
it just
Okay.
it popped up. and I just decided to take a look. It's got a very like 80s album cover, which caught my eye, to be honest, and that was
Yep, sounds about right.
A lot of 80s synth sounds.
Not- yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what struck me about it is it kind of takes a little bit more of a backseat to the song.
yes, absolutely.
It's not that overbearing 80s synth
no,
sound.
not at all. It's got a lot of like 90s vibes to it too, I thought, which maybe is where more like kind of the
In
punkish
fact,
kind
maybe
of.
that's what it is. It's like 90s vocals, 90s song structure
Yeah.
over 80s style.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a really neat album, really cool concept. So
But yeah, Blood Boy,
check
punk
it out.
adjacent. I recommend trying out the tracks. Is Now a Good Time to Ruin Your Life, All My Idiots, and Sex Crime.
Nice.
it's now a good time to ruin it. It's a good one.
I just wanted to end on Sex Crime. Is that so bad?
That's good. Those are good track names. And if you're curious about those singles and the albums we talked about today, there will be a playlist up on the site containing all the singles and the best tracks from this week's albums. There's a hell of a lot. Thanks to Billy. And
I was excited.
yeah, hey, there's good stuff. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming, hanging by, hanging out, doing the stuff. Check us out on all the places. We have a website, we have a YouTube, we have all that stuff. Like, subscribe, etc., etc. Take care of yourselves. Love yourself, as Sufjan Stevens would
Jesus.
say. Hey,
Man,
we're in some dark times, Billy. People need the positivity. Get with it.
I like this new Billy. This
Thank
new
you.
Billy
I don't-
ain't no yes man.
Visit bliss.house, bliss.hus for all our content. We're cutting Billy from the website. So
It's been a great last
check it
episode.
out. Check it out real soon, or we're having a going away sale for Billy. It's gonna be great. Thanks, everybody.
Everything Billy's got to go.